Am I the only one that feels like prices are climbing high? Everything is expensive, and it feels like, okay, what's going on? What's happening to inflation? In this video, I'm going to just give you a couple of tips on how you can just save money in 2026. Please, let's save money. Let's try to cut back on some things. Let's try to just stretch our coins so that we can live peaceful lives, so that we'll not be, anxious in 2026, and being usually when you have a lot of things to do with money, you're under pressure. You're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. You're under pressure and you're not calm. And in 2026, the goal is to be calm, to live our best lives and still save money and just live within our means. Let's get into the video. Money saving tips for 2026. The first thing I'm going to give you, the first tip I'm going to give you is I should avoid small leak expenses. Okay, when your tire is leaking, when it has this little leak, you just like your tire pressure is going down. It won't go down all at once, so the tire will just be leaking. Or if something is leaking, maybe I don't know what else leaks, whatever it is that is leaking, maybe even if you have like a keg in your kitchen or a little basin in your bathroom and it's leaking, all the water will not come out at once, but you see that the water is coming out, it's reducing. Before you know it, the basin is empty or your tire is flat or whatever it is that is leaking. So when it has to do with your finances, avoid small leak expenses. Those tiny things that, it's not just a donut, you buy 5. It's not just a soft drink, you buy 4. Before you know it, every day you're spending out of budget, because usually it's advisable that you have a budget for your daily spendings, your monthly spendings, your weekly spendings, so that it just help you stay afloat financially. It doesn't mean you become a multi-billionaire because you're saving, but it will help you be comfortable. That you're not going beyond you're not passing your bounds. Let me say, you're not doing the things that are beyond your financial capacity at that moment. And so that, okay, for this week I can't spend more than 50,000 naira for this week, or 100,000 naira, or whatever money. Yeah, if you have a higher budget or a lower one, it doesn't matter. But when you avoid those tiny little small leak spendings, it will help you stay within your budget, because you feel like you're just really spending a little, right? It's not just a donut. It has taken some money out of your budget for that day or for that week, and before you know it, when you add it all up, you will see that, oh my goodness, I've spent so much more than I planned to this week, or I've spent so much more than I planned to spend this year or this month. So it's very important. It might feel like a dismissible point, but it is actually very important. It's something that I actually had to learn to be intentional about and to be cautious about, because those tiny little spendings, they take a huge chunk out of your budget for the month without you knowing, because it's not just to buy some fast food. You're buying fast food and you're already spending 15% or 20% of your budget for the week or for the month. So you need to find a way to block all those tiny little places where your money is leaking from, those tiny little things, those tiny little subscriptions that you forgot to cancel the subscription, and then now they are charging you every week and you don't even know they're charging you every month. So all those tiny little things, find ways to block all those things that you feel like you have no control over, which you can actually be intentional about having control over, right? So you stop all of those impromptu purchases that don't concern you, things that will just make you spend beyond your budget. Try to avoid them, and you will find that your money will remain in your account and nothing will happen to you. So that you have, at least you have extra, that little extra, just keep it in your account. Okay, keep it in your wallet, keep it in your bag, just keep it. Try not to spend things try to avoid this small leakage spending. It's very important. It seems dismissible, but it's actually something that will help you to grow your money at the end of the day. Another money growing tip would be that you should avoid trends. I started doing this, oh my goodness, many years ago, and in fact I can never even go back. I cannot go back to trend shopping, because I'm experiencing the peace that comes with not following trends. I'd rather buy something that has very good quality, that even if I don't care if the thing is old school, I don't care. I don't follow trends at all, and it's an amazing way to grow your money, because you find that, because every single week one new product comes out. It might be in clothes, it might be in your home decor, it might be shoes, it might be anything, it might be accessories, it might even be food or whatever. every single week, every single day, you just wake up to one new trend, and everybody's crazy about that thing, and everybody's buying it. And those things come really expensive. Okay, if you just zero your mind that, you know what, I'm not a trend person, I'm not buying anything that is trendy. Not because those things are bad, right? I'm not trying to discourage you from living your life or buying things you want to buy, but I'm just saying that if you don't need it, if you're only buying it because it's trending, you should rethink your purchase. Because I mean, it's your money, but then you can as well save the money or keep it in your bank. Like, nothing will happen to it. It will even be growing because interest will be climbing on top of it in your account, right? So if it's something you can do, work on it. That's something you should actually work on. It's something I've worked on, and that's really helped me. I can't remember the last time I bought something. I mean, more than 15 years ago that I stopped buying trendy stuff, you know. So if you feel like, oh, this everybody has, there's this cup that everybody's crazy about. Oh, this cup, you must have it, and it's expensive. What happened to all of the cups in your house? You don't have any cup in your house to drink water from. All you want to drink with this thing is water. So why are you spending thousands to buy something to drink? I mean, it's like you're solving a problem that doesn't even exist, in my opinion. So if you're on a budget, even if you're not on a budget, if you are just trying to, save your money in 2026, try to avoid trends. I mean, it doesn't have to. It's not only utensils. It can be anything. It can be kitchen gadgets. It can be anything, home decor, toiletries, groceries, whatever it is that is trendy. And it's not particular. It's not like this thing you need it desperately. You just, you can just avoid it. Avoid things that trending. It might be your clothes, accessories, makeup, whatever it is. Just try to avoid it, just to save your money. I mean, I know it's your money, right? You have a right to spend it anyhow you want, but at the end of the day, sometimes we can just rethink some of our purchases, so that by the time you look at your account, you'll be like, I actually have extra money. Like, oh my goodness, I did well this month. I have some extra money just lying around in my account. I can actually now you can now use that for something that you actually need, okay, that is going to be beneficial to your life, and you can even use it for investments, anything. But make sure you are just avoiding trends, especially if it's not a necessary purchase. If it's just going to be a nice to have, you need to avoid it. Nice to haves are actually, like my first point, they are tiny little leaks, small leaks that will take a lot of your money. Okay, when you say, oh, this thing will be nice to have, you don't need it, so just avoid it. Another very important thing you need to avoid in 2026 is emotional spending. I know sometimes it can be very, very, it can be frustrating. Maybe when you feel like you are bored, you are depressed, and the only thing that can cheer you up right now is maybe a beautiful new blouse or an amazing pair of shoes. You are bored, you just want to be happy, and then you go out and you buy a brand new phone. While those things might give you that instant gratification, at the end of the day, it will not solve your depression problem. You have a new phone, but you are still going through whatever issues you are going through. So if it's an emotional purchase, try to avoid it. Deal with your emotional situation. Are you stressed? Are you bored? Are you heartbroken? I mean, if you're heartbroken, you can go to God for that. If you are stressed, you can try to take a break. Whatever it is, do sort out the problem. Don't now go and start spending money because you're heartbroken. So now that maybe you feel like you're overwhelmed, next thing now you now transfer 200,000 from your account to buy a new wig because you are stressed. That is not going to solve your problem, okay? So try to avoid emotional purchases. It's something that you need to work on, especially as women. I can tell you that I've been a victim of this many, many times, before I stopped doing it anyway. When I feel like, I just feel so, maybe I'm overwhelmed, or I feel this, or I feel that, or when I was burnt out, when I was many years ago, when I was going through my own burnout, I used to want to solve the problem with buying stuff, and I can tell you for a fact that it will not change anything. It only empty your bank account, okay? So try to avoid in 2026. Avoid emotional spending. If there is an issue, sort out the issue. If you are hungry, go and cook in your kitchen. Don't now, because of that, now buy something of thousands of that you now regret, and then you now slide back into the depression. It's not worth it, guys. So try to avoid it in 2026. Another important point is that you should prioritize your needs over your wants. I know I touched on it earlier in my second point. If you don't need it, don't buy it. Don't buy things just because you want them. I know it can be very difficult. I understand, because I've been there many times. You just see something, especially if it's something that it's your thing. There are some things that are just your thing. For me, it's like maybe perfumes, or maybe plants, or something. When I see, or even Ankara fabric, I love fabrics, Ankara fabrics. So I've learned over the years not to buy things that I want, but to buy things that I need, so that you don't just end up dashing out. Because at the end of the day, when you want to declutter, you end up giving out those things that you don't need, because you have piles and piles of things that you don't need, and you're just buying them just because you want them. You don't actually need them. You don't. How many bottles of perfume do you actually need as a person to survive? Okay, how many bottles do you need? So this is something that I can tell you for a fact that it is, once you put your mind to it, it's very easy to overcome that impulse, or that habit of just buying things that you want, not that you necessarily need. You need just a very, very, very few bottles of perfume. You need a very few plants. You need very few clothes. You don't need a lot. And if you feel like you want to keep buying and buying and buying, just know that greed has set in, okay? So avoid buying things that you just want. Buy more of the things that you need. For example, you need water. You need water to survive. So you need to buy water, things that you need. You need food. You need fuel for your car. Obviously, you need clothes to cover yourself when you're going out. But then, are these clothes, are you buying them just because you want new clothes, or can you rewear the ones you have? If you have an event, can you check your wardrobe for something you already have, rather than going out to buy another one? So those are the things you just try to avoid, because in 2026 we're trying to just chase that bag. We're trying to grow our money, stretch our coins, and we need to buy things that we need, not just the things that we want. This last one is one of my favorite points. Avoid keeping up with the Joneses, okay? Don't spend your money just because you want to impress people. Don't go out of your way just to convince people that, oh, you can afford this, or that, oh, I have the money. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't keep up with the Joneses. If you cannot afford it, it doesn't mean you don't have that amount of money in your account. But if you cannot afford to spend it right now, then don't spend it right now. Don't do things just to impress people that, oh, I want to impress this person. So there's this Ashwebi, it's 1 million naira, and I'm going to pay for it because I want to impress people. I want them to know I can afford it. You don't need that. You don't need it. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't do things that you cannot afford. Even if you have the money in your account, sometimes, when we want to impress people, we might have the money in the account, or we might not even have it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's a way to just, in fact, you ruin your finances. You ruin everything. You make yourself miserable just because you're trying to impress people. It's not worth it, okay? Keeping up with the Joneses is one of the worst things you can ever do. And in 2026, we are dropping that, okay? We are leaving that. You're not doing anything to impress anybody if it's not convenient for you financially. However, if it's not convenient for you, you don't have to do it. You do not have to do it, okay? The only person that you need to please at all costs is God, okay? You should fear God. You should please God at all costs, okay? Don't try to impress fellow human beings while putting yourself in a very tight corner. Sometimes people go out of their way to do things they cannot afford, and then they get into financial problems. They get into trouble. You've gone to buy this thing that you had no business buying, and now school fees is coming in January. You are now running up and down to look for money for school fees. So it's not necessary. It's not worth it. Keeping up with the Joneses, avoid it. Okay, I hope this video has been encouraging. These are just my own few tips. If you have anything to add, please add it in the comment section. Let every other person get inspired and encouraged. I'll see you guys. Happy holidays. Bye.